There is no question now that our evidence was being referred to in committee because I've now been invited. This week, the Canadian press decided to fact-check us. And now their story's been copy and pasted across nearly every major outlet in the country. Yahoo, City News, Barrie Today, North Shore News, even the Toronto Star, all running the same article. And it's a coordinated effort to discredit independent media for saying what legacy media won't. That the government's staged a construction site for a photo op for Carney's housing announcement. But we're not going anywhere. And because of our work, we're bringing something to Parliament that they're not. The truth about the longest ballot committee. Let's take a look. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the original story that the Canadian press published. It says, fact file, claims government built fake homes for photo op misleading. Now notice it says, the Canadian press, Canada's trusted news leader. I find that very ironic considering this article. This is the first paragraph in the article, folks. In September, Prime Minister Mark Carney announced the launch of Build Canada Homes, a federal agency that plans to build 4,000 homes on federal land. Carney made the announcement against a backdrop of under-construction modular homes. Some social media users claimed the government created a fake construction site with fake homes as a photo opportunity, and that the $13 billion budget meant each home would cost upwards of $3 million. In fact, the builder of the modular homes said they are real and were not intended to be constructed permanently at the site of the announcement. It's unclear how the entire $13 billion budget will be spent, but it isn't funding just the 4,000 homes. So this, we don't even have to get any further in the article, folks. This first paragraph is very bizarre because they're saying, well, you have people on social media claiming that this was a fake construction site. But it later says in the paragraph that the builder of these modular homes said that they weren't intended to be there permanently. What would you call that, folks? What would you call that? If you stage a site, put up some half-built homes, and then have a press conference there, take some pictures, and then take them away. What would you call that? To me, that's called a fake construction site. And it was meant to give the impression to Canadians that this is a site that they're actually building homes. It's to give the impression that Carney's actually doing something. Houses are getting built. Carney even said, we stopped the workers from finishing. Really? And because we put out our video on that, which included a little snippet of a video from Barbara Ball, who actually went to the site and now nothing is there, you're trying to come out and defend Mark Carney and his announcement. So this was just the first paragraph, folks. Let's keep going. The claim. When the Prime Minister announced the launch of a federal agency that aims to boost housing construction, he did so against the backdrop of several under-construction modular homes. Build Canada Homes will oversee plans to build 4,000 homes on 6 federally owned sites as part of its initial $13 billion budget, Prime Minister Mark Carney said at a press conference in Nepean on September 14th. On social media, some users claimed the government created a fake construction site with fake homes for the announcement because the modular homes weren't fully finished and were removed from the site days later. Quote, Mark Carney caught creating fake construction site for a quote-unquote housing announcement reads the title of a September 21st YouTube video with around 109,000 views. Quote, that was supposed to look like a new housing development going in and that it was going to be finished. People were going to be moving into it after they were finished, but then it was all torn down, end quote, the video claimed. Okay, CP, time out. In the previous part of that article, you said that the claims were that he was building a fake construction site with fake homes. We went back and looked at our transcript. Not once in the entire video did we say fake homes. We never said that. So for you to actually put this in your fact check file is kind of embarrassing because you are making a claim that is not true. So we raise your fact check with an actual accurate fact check because we never said that. And they also didn't even say who published the video. And when you click on their link to actually go to a video, it doesn't even go to our channel, it goes to a web archive. So it's interesting that they don't even go to the original source in the link in the article. In fairness, way down at the bottom where it says sources, they actually do talk about Northern Perspective being the author of the video, and then it does go to the YouTube website. But most people don't do that. They click on the link that they're using, and that is usually the citation. So the fact that you're trying to send people not to our channel so they could actually look at that video and the rest of our portfolio, but to an internet archive is kind of sleazy when you think about it. So no, we didn't say fake homes. We said fake construction site. You admit in the earlier part of your article that these were not meant to be permanent there. And it was only done for the press conference. And photographs, which is a fake construction site for a photo op. That was what we said, because that's what happened. In their attempt to discrediting us, I'm sorry, but this fact check doesn't hold water at all. And it's a wonder because Canadian Press actually gets a bunch of our taxpayer money. Take a look. Canadian Journalism Connection, they actually get $1.355 million of our taxpayer money from these guys this year. Government of Canada gives them a contract worth $128,000, communication professional services not elsewhere provided, so Canadian Press gets that. $44,000, similar type of contract. $11,800, similar type of contract. So they're getting $1.6 million of our money to do stories like this, to waste time doing stories like this, to defend the government narrative doing stories like this. So it's a wonder. It's a wonder that they actually don't investigate real stories. Real stories about organizations that are making a mockery and threaten our democracy. Like the longest ballot committee. And this is where our attention has been. Because it's a very important story and there's potentially criminal conduct going on here, as we outlined in one of our videos. And it's no wonder. And it's actually kind of crazy that it's not the mainstream media that's covering this, and it's independent media. So, you can imagine my surprise when I received this email from Parliament. Procedure and House Affairs invitation to appear. October 9th, 2025. Good afternoon, Ryan Davies. The House of Commons Standing Committee on Procedure and House Affairs would like to invite you to provide testimony as a witness for its study of the actions of the longest ballot committee in recent Canadian elections. Your appearance would take place in person in Ottawa or virtually via the House of Commons secure Zoom platform on Thursday, October 9th, 2025 from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time. You can imagine my surprise getting that email, folks. And for those of you that were on the live stream with us on Thursday evening and saw the clip that we posted yesterday, all of this now makes sense. All of this now makes sense. There is no question now that our evidence was being referred to in committee because I've now been invited. And I can't even tell you what's going through my mind right now. It's an honor to be invited. It's an honor that our work has been viewed as credible enough to actually be discussed in a parliamentary committee. And it is, it's frankly the culmination of all of our efforts with Northern Perspective and with all of the support that all of NP Nation and our viewers has given us over the last couple of years. This is the culmination. We're making a difference to the point where independent media is now being invited to provide testimony based off of one of our investigations. Can't even tell you, I can't even explain to you both the excitement, but also just the pride that I have in all of us involved in Northern Perspective. And when I mean us, I mean the viewers, because as we keep saying, without you, there is no Northern Perspective. And without you, our investigation doesn't get out there. It doesn't get the attention. And we wouldn't be able to do this full time without our viewers. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be sitting down at Parliamentary Committee. I'll be in Proc, 11 a.m. on Thursday. It's gonna be something else. And I'm going to be there representing Northern Perspective, representing independent media, and representing NP Nation and all of the Canadians out there that just want the truth and want some accountability. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the huge announcement that we have today. And it's really an honor to represent all of you and to represent Northern Perspective and independent media in there, because maybe we'll finally get some accountability for these people that are making a complete mockery of our democracy and elections. So as we say, let's get to work.